And in closing, there are so many tools that can help us out with this. And I'll put these in the newsletter. Speaking of that, a huge newsletter that it just went out last week or 2 weeks before now, I think, depending on when this episode hits. But we did an episode on budgeting. And if you were on the newsletter, man, we sent out all kinds of stuff on budgeting. We sent out apps on budgeting. I sent out all sorts of YouTube videos on exactly how to visually see a budget, do a budget, budgets for business. So again, for those of you that aren't listening, if you go to brodacious.life.com and for free, subscribe to our newsletter. Usually when we do an episode like this one, that day or that week or the following week, somewhere within 7 days, we send out all kinds of resources. So as we close this one up, here's some of the resources that are going to be in that newsletter, but it's like apps and tools. So if you're trying to be more productive by letting some things go or organizing and creating margin, number one, there's to-do list, and I like the app Todoist. So there's that. There's time management apps like Todoist or Asana or Basecamp. Basecamp is the one that I typically use the most with my projects and teams. There's the Pomodoro technique, which involves focusing really hard on 25-minute intervals with short breaks. And we've actually talked about that on a previous episode. We'll probably talk about that more. Calendar and schedule. If you don't know about Calendly, that is a huge app. I use Calendly with my clients all the time. Let's see here. Mind mapping, that's an important thing because it's a visual tool to help you clarify thoughts and priorities, and we can talk about that later. The newsletter will cover the Eisenhower Matrix. That's pretty cool stuff. Because that's like a decision-making tool that can help you prioritize based on quadrants of urgency. And, of course, there's delegation, and we all know what delegation is. And there's a book called Who, Not How, which is in the resource page, which is the ultimate book on delegation. So, again, that was a lot. We're going to dig into more detail of that on the newsletter. So if you're really into this thing of quitting, I hope go to brodacious.life.com right now. And then make sure that you subscribe to the newsletter because we're going to give you some more tools to help equip you and get you to there. So, Chef, let me ask you this in closing, man. I'm going to put you on the hot seat. I didn't tell you I was going to do this. It's not in our show notes. Chef, what is something, with all that we've talked about today, what's something you're prepared to quit?
Something I am prepared to quit. So,
what is a good thing that you do that is good and you're good at it and you enjoy it, but that sometimes you got to let go of good to make room for great? What is your good that you're going to let go of to make room for great?
Some of that is going to be some items that we do around the farm. And our homestead has been such a key part of our lives here. But we've noticed that we're spending a lot of time doing some things that, quite frankly, they're just us with like a hamster in a wheel, and they're just not beneficial for us. So, yes, we enjoy the benefits of it, but right now we just don't have the time. And doing dairy goats and trying to negotiate that while doing sheep, and we're wanting to do all this other stuff and the garden. We're actually downsizing our garden for the first time. Everything's always been about getting it bigger and bigger and bigger. This is going to be the first time that we actually downsize, and I'm actually kind of excited about it because it's going to be hyper-focused. And I'm willing to bet I'm really willing to put money on the table to say that by downsizing, I'm actually going to get my biggest yield. So instead of having giant row crops, I'm consolidating everything down to 12 raised garden beds that are 12 feet by 3 feet. And I am willing to just about bet a paycheck that I'm actually going to come out better in doing that, and then just focusing on that versus having to pick weeds every other morning, having to deal with the slugs, the hornworms, and all the other things that are going on. And then it's also going to allow us to focus more things on the farm, like meat. Meat production is something that we did not focus on last year. We actually focused on the garden, and we had nothing really to show for it. So I'm now getting very low on my chicken supply. But we're going to focus on meat chickens and pigs instead of doing all kinds of meats. We're going to focus in on 2 different kinds of meats. Both of them, they only are going to be for a certain amount of time on the farm, and then we're done. So I don't have to do these projects over winter. Again, I'm going to do less is going to be more.
I love that, man. I wish you the best of luck. I think that's awesome, dude. Congratulations. Way to lead with example and ferocity.
I'm excited about it. We're gonna have the best year on the homestead, and again, we're gonna make great content about it to kind of go on to the page. So if you've got questions about it, our page is not really about homesteading, but we're gonna post up some videos in the vlog, and that's how, if you follow that vlog, that's how you're gonna see that information and see what goes on around us. I feel like that's a great place for you to be able to see that. So if you've not had a chance, make sure you go in there and hit the vlog. We were in there hanging out with the sheep last week. We're about to go out there again today because, hint, hint, there's a lot more baby sheep running out there, and we're really excited about it.
Baby sheep is a Ewing.
Oh, a ewe is a female. A lamb is a baby. So I should say a baby lamb.
Got it. Sorry,
So we have 7
I get lambs from
baby
Outdoor
lambs.
at the Costco, so
Well, fantastic. So what are you gonna drop?
So a few things. The first thing I do is I'm letting go. I am networking, continuing to make connections, but I'm talking about my time investment. Is my big thing is instead of trying to have a multitude of relationships across the board, I'm really focused in on letting go of the fluff and really spending more time with the people that not necessarily lift me up, but the people who are lifting themselves up. I want to spend more time in building relationships with people who are headed in the same place. That's one thing. As a high school marching band or band person, I'm trying to let go of some stuff. I realize in that genre of my work life, we do lots of things, but in doing lots of things, sometimes it's easy to not do anything well. So I really am trying to do less so that I can give more attention to the things that matter. And then the final thing is content that's coming out, because there's a Brodacious Life, there's JRB Dream Properties, Agent, I'm now trying to, instead of creating separate content for all of this stuff, what I'm really focused on for 2023 is creating really razor-defying, meaningful content that I can really do for our listeners that applies to all of the places. So not only that it creates time for me, but also better quality for our clients and customers and listeners here on A Brodacious Life. So we're still working on that. I'm researching, figuring out what that is. But those are the things that I want to do. At the end of the day, you talk about the dip. My big goal is, obviously, I want to create a better life for my family. But also, I want to answer that question. And if I were to pass tomorrow, what is the legacy I leave behind? I want to leave a bigger legacy. I want to own land, but not just so that I can own land, but because I want to create opportunities for tenants to have the ability to have affordable housing to help them get to their next stage in life. I want them to be homeowners. My goal in being a landlord is not that I keep them forever, though I profit from that, but I want to be the person that helps people get from where they're at today and tomorrow, and not so that they'll know my name, but so that I can help in a small way from the back sideline of help them achieve their goals. And that's where I'm at in 2023 and getting into 2024, man. So, and I'm excited, and I'm ready to quit other stuff, other things we do good, to make room for that great.
Well, I love that, man. Well, this has been a groundbreaking episode. I mean, we just tell people to quit, right?
Yeah. Quit. Be a quitter.
Quit. Be a quitter.
I need you to quit.
So I just want to encourage you out there, again, share your journey with us. We're super excited. We have had nothing but absolute love from you guys. So continue. Thank you so much. We do what we get to do, and we enjoy doing it. And I feel like, we'd be out there creating content, but it's so fulfilling to be in a community that is all in with us. And so, again, we always love hearing from you, and we just cannot wait for you to be along with us with the journey. So we will catch you next time here on A Brodacious Life. Again, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, smash that like button if you're watching us here on YouTube, and we look forward to seeing you.